Hello, my sewing friends. My name's Diana, and this is another edition of #FridaySews. Thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag. It's where we come together on a Friday and we talk a little bit about sewing and a little bit about life. So it's where we can create a virtual sewing room, and I love that because I don't have a sewing community where I am in Prague in the Czech Republic. So you are my sewing community. So first of all, we talk about sewing each week. This week I worked on the toile for my Vogue 1672. And I also worked with my young friend Joy on the beginning of the Merlin backpack. So I have both of those updates for you this week. And here is the toile of just the bodice of the Vogue dress. And I just quick inserted just any old zipper that I had, and it's just the outer layer of the bodice, just like the shell. And I just wanted to see how it fit and how it fit across the bust and the V, how deep that was on me. So I'm going to insert a video of that now. Hi, I just finished my toile of the bodice for the Vogue 1672. So here is my fit check, and it fits, it's not too low cut. It fits through the bodice and the shoulders nicely. And the dart looks nice. And it fits around here nicely. So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and do this size of the dress. So yeah, I think it's going to, I really like the crossover. I might wind up putting like a little tack there, but I don't think it's gonna be too showy. And it fits good around here. And it's seems to be as short-waisted as I am. So that's a good thing. Because the waistband will now fit right here where I need it to fit. So good. So as you can see, the bodice fit very nicely. It's not too cleavage-tastic. It is a little bit. I might just put a little like a hook and eye there to hold it shut, or an extra snap or something there in the lining just to hold it closed a little bit higher up where I would feel more comfortable as a modest person that I always want to dress modestly. So that's the toile of the bodice. And then I did cut out the waistband and sew it together. Here's the waistband. And I'm going to show you the problem with the waistband. Now this is a waistband size 20. So I had to lower my camera down so you could see. Here is the size 20 waistband around my natural waist. There's a gap there. Let's see how much of a gap. It's about 2.5 inches. So as you can see, the waistband is not big enough to go around my natural waist, even though the bodice fits around my torso. So I decided to grade my pattern out to the size 22, which gives another 1/2 inch on each seam, which adds up to, there is a seam here. Let me show you on the bodice. So there's a seam here and here, and then the side seam here and there, and then the back. So I graded out to a 22 in the waist, and before I cut out anything in the size 22, my next step is to take the size 22, just the waistband piece, and cut that out and sew it together and double check that it fits. And then if it doesn't, then I will decrease the seam allowance, because the seam allowance 5/8 of an inch. So that gives me at least another 1/2 inch on each seam to let out, because I have to make up a 2.5 inch difference. So between the 1/2 inch I've already done by going up to the size 22, and then an extra 1/2 inch that I can make up in the seam allowances, I'm pretty sure that I can make the size 22 fit. So I think that that will work. So that's my plan for the next few days, except for Sunday, where I'm going to be working on the Marlin backpack with my young friend Joy. So I'm going to insert a video here of a little bit of update of the progress that we made on it this week. Hello, my sewing friends. I am coming to you to give you a little bit of an update on our Marlin backpacks. So it is the next morning from the day that we were working on previously. And we were so tired from the cutting out process that we couldn't film anymore, because cutting out 2 backpacks is no joke. There's so many pieces. So I'm gonna go through and show you what we have so far. So in case you didn't remember, we are doing the Marlin backpack from Sarah Lawson at Sew Sweetness. And this is the pile of pieces that we spent all of yesterday cutting. So we did all of the cutting. This is the interior for Joy's backpack. This is the lining. And then this is the lining for my backpack, this one. And the exterior will be this dark, heavy denim. Now, this denim is really heavy. You can see how thick it is. It's a very thick, heavy denim. So we opted to skip the foam interfacing and just do the SF 101 on the pieces that needed it. Like, for example, this piece, we have SF 101 on this one. And then on mine as well. Now I ran out of SF 101. Let's talk about it. So I'm not sure if you all have experienced this, but on Amazon I went to a seller and I found Pellon SF 101 Shape Flex interfacing for the backpacks. They would only sell me 1 meter of it. So then I went to another seller, not meter, sorry, this is US, it was yards. And then I went to another seller and they would only sell me 1 yard as well. And it was more expensive. And every seller I went to, it just kept getting more and more expensive. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Pellon SF 101 Shape Flex situation there. But it was expensive and it's getting hard to find, which was very frustrating. And, you know, we used every single scrap of those 2 yards of the Shape Flex, the SF 101 Shape Flex. Plus, I also had to get out my cheapo interfacing. That is the papery kind that doesn't stick so well. I used all the rest of that. And then I had to get out my garment making interfacing that's thinner and more fine. And I had to use 2 layers of that one because it wasn't as heavy. So that's a lot of interfacing. And I don't understand what's going on there with the Pellon Shape Flex SF 101 interfacing, but it was not good. It's not a good situation. I'm going to have to see if I can source a woven interfacing here in the Czech Republic locally, because buying the Pellon Shape Flex on Amazon is not working for me. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do, because I really would like to make a lot more handbags. I had plans to make more handbags, but as of right now, without the interfacing, I can't. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I will get back to you again for another update when we do some more sewing, which will be in a couple of days. We can get together again on Friday. This is Wednesday right now. So we're gonna get together Friday morning, and then I will update you on how things are going. So see you then. So as you can see, we got all of the pieces cut out. And do you know that that took 4 hours? 4 hours to cut out all of the pieces for the 2 backpacks, even though we decided to omit the foam interfacing for both of our backpacks. It still took 4 hours because there's just so many pieces. And then we had to do a whole lot of jigsaw puzzling with the interfacing. And that's the whole issue with the Pellon SF101 interfacing. It's very frustrating. Can you let me know down in the comments below if you're experiencing any of the same problems finding the Pellon SF101 interfacing that I am? And if you have a reliable distributor where you can actually buy it in quantity, would you please, 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 please let me know? Next, I want to talk about channel news. My channel news is I reached 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Actually, over the last few days, I have increased over 1,000. Let me tell you what it is right at this moment. At this moment, I am recording at 1:12 p.m. on a Friday afternoon in Prague, and I have 1,028 subscribers. Yay! Thank you so much, everybody, for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so right now. Hit that like button and feel free to go back and watch all of my other content. I share all of my sewing journey with you and a little bit of my life. I have a lot of Friday Sews videos. I have a whole playlist of just Friday Sews if you'd like to go back and watch my journey progress over the last couple of years. And my move from Africa to Europe is in there as well. So I hope that you can go back and enjoy. I would love to get my public watch hours up over 3,000. That's my next channel goal. I'm at about 2,500 public watch hours. The next milestone I need to reach with my channel is 3,000 public watch hours. So if you like to have a little bit of chat on in the background while you're sitting in your sewing room created, feel free to just go to my Friday Sews playlist and just play all those Friday Sews videos in the background, and I'd be happy to chat with you on all of those videos. So that's my channel goal and my channel celebration. Now, I promised last week that if you guys were so awesome and got me over 1,000 subscribers, then I would announce a Q&A video. So that's what I want to do now. I am going to create a Q&A, a question and answer video from only the questions that you send to me. And you can find me on Instagram at diana.irion. I'll put it right here, diana.irion on Instagram, and you can DM me on Instagram, or you can send me an email. I'll put my email address right here, ddirion777@gmail.com. ddirion777@gmail.com. And over the next week or so, I will collect all of your questions, and then I will answer them on video and release that within the next couple of weeks. It might take a little time for people on YouTube to watch my video, think of a question, and send it off to me. So if you would like to do that, I would love to share my life with you because we're all friends here. And I would love to include you into my community by letting you get to know a little bit more about me. So please feel free to send your questions. It could be about sewing. It could be about adoption of kids from orphanages in Ukraine. It could be about trauma, grief, loss, because as you know, I've lost. I have a trauma a couple of years ago. I had a tragedy in my family. It could be about my roving lifestyle around the world, moving from country to country. There's a few questions about that I won't be able to answer on camera because if you know about my husband's job, then you know that there are some things that I can't talk about, but I will be open with you about as much as I possibly can. Could be about what it's like to live in Africa, what it's like to live in Europe, what it's like to move a family with kids and pets around the world. It could be about me personally. Any topics, unless it's forbidden to talk about on YouTube, because there are a few things that are not acceptable to talk about on YouTube. Two things, one thing for sure I will not talk about, and that's politics. I will not answer any political questions. This is not a space for politics. This is a space for sewing and sharing our lives and being our authentic selves. And I don't want to talk about anything political, please. So next, let's talk about life. So in my life this week, I had surgery on my mouth. So I had a tooth that I had to have extracted a couple months ago. And so yesterday, Thursday, I went to the dentist and we started the implant process where they inserted a titanium rod into my jaw right here. And I don't know if you can see if I'm a little bit swollen. I'm not really swollen or bruised this time. When I had my implant done here about 6 months ago, I was very swollen and I had a big bruise on my face. Not this time. It was the back tooth right here and it went smooth and there were no problems for the first day. Yesterday, I had a little bit of problem with moving my head hurt and then looking down, like put more pressure on the surgical area than I was comfortable with. So I pretty much just took yesterday off and laid on the sofa and I watched all of the YouTube videos about sewing that I could find. I found some people that I haven't met before and subscribed to more new channels. So that was really fun. And other things in life this week, pretty much I went to Frankfurt on Sunday. I drove from Prague to Frankfurt. It was supposed to only take 4.5 hours, but it took 6.5 hours because of all of the road construction. There was road construction all across Germany, not so much in the Czech Republic, but once I hit the German border, there was a lot of road construction. And since on the German side of the border, you're driving on the Autobahn. And if you've never been to Europe and you don't know anything about the Autobahn is a section of freeway across Germany where there's no speed limit. So you can go as fast as you are comfortable driving. That's why the drive should have only taken 4 hours to 4.5 hours. I should have been able to drive 150 kilometers, 160 kilometers per hour, which is about 80, 85 miles per hour on the Autobahn, but not this time. There was so much road construction, going down to one lane, roads with poor quality. So it took an extra 2 hours. So by the time I made it to Germany, to the hotel by the airport Sunday evening, I was exhausted. And then I woke up Monday morning and went to the Frankfurt airport and picked up my 2 oldest boys from the airport. and I had to meet them at the gate, not at the gate, but at the exit, international exit where you pick up your passengers. And then I had to sign paperwork because they were flying as unaccompanied minors. So I signed the paperwork and I brought the boys home with me, and it took another 6.5 hours to make it home. But we did it, and by the time we got back, we were exhausted. The boys slept most of the way in the car on the way back here, sorry, because they had just come from 2 weeks back in America, 8 days of that at camp. And this is a very active camp where they play sports for half a day every day. And they stayed up late at night, even though there was lights out at 9 o'clock, but they still stayed up late at night talking, and they had a wonderful time making new friends and just being immersed in the Bible and God's people, and it was just fantastic. They both had a very positive experience. So I'm very happy about that. They've come home to be more calm and polite young men. There was some switch that went off at camp, and it's really been a pleasure to have them back home. They're more helpful at home. They're more polite. They're not surly teenagers anymore. It's great. It's really, really great. So I'm very happy about that. It's a pleasure having them home from camp. And, you know, that's really it this week. I wasn't able to greet the newcomers that were coming that I told you about last week because I was in Frankfurt picking up my boys. And then I was going to go Wednesday to spend some time with them and show them around Prague and help them with the public transportation and shopping and things like that. But they have a little 3-year-old boy, and he didn't feel very well. So we thought it was best to wait until he was feeling better. So I will probably be doing that next week on Tuesday. And that's it. We're getting ready for school. So I'm going to be doing uniform shopping. My boys go to a British school here in Prague. It's the Riverside International School, which is a British curriculum. So they have to wear uniforms. So I need to go uniform shopping this next week. And my oldest, the 15-year-old, will be entering high school. So they don't have to wear school shirts. They just have to wear a button-up shirt with a collar, a collared shirt with buttons, tucked into their pants with belt. And the pants have to be like dress pants, like chino type of pants, but no jeans. And they can only wear blue or black pants, like navy blue or black pants. And then they have to have all black shoes with no logos, no other colors. So I need to go shopping for all of those things this next week. And it's going to be nice because my oldest boy, he deserves to have some nice new things. He's a pretty amazing young man, and I don't mind spending a little bit of money on him. So it'll be good. It'll be great. That's it from here in Prague. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend with lots of time to sew something beautiful. Take care. Bye.